Hello and welcome. Today I have a short sequence for you for low back and particularly for sciatica. So if that sciatica is starting to bother you, you can try this sequence and see if it helps. So we're going to start laying down on the belly. So we're going to gently come all the way down onto the belly. We'll just take a moment to get situated. Put your hands in front of you, one on top of the other, and you can just lay your head on your hands, forehead down. And we'll take a few breaths here to settle in, just sinking down into the mat, allowing your body to be heavy and weighted down into the mat. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then we're going to do small little foot lifts. So we're going to lift the right foot and your head can stay down. You can just listen to the sound of my voice. Lift the right foot just a little bit off the ground, just a few inches, and then lower. Then lift the left foot just a few inches, and then lower. And lift the right foot, maybe up to the right knee if it's comfortable, but it doesn't have to be a big movement here to really benefit. And then we'll pick up the left foot and lower. And if that's feeling good or helpful, if you're getting that nice stretch through the front of the hip, then we'll go ahead and lift up maybe just a little bit higher. Lift up to the knee and then lower. And then lift the left foot and then lower. And we'll do two more. So one more on the right and then lift up the left and lower. And then we're going to press the elbows up. So our elbows are under our shoulders and the hands out long in front of us, fingers wide. This is our Sphinx pose. So we're going to press down the hips. Let the hips be heavy here. Hug in the abs just a little bit. And we're looking forward to a place just a few inches above the fingertips so that we can feel long through the neck here, maybe tucking the chin slightly. And we'll take a few slow breaths here in our Sphinx pose. Pressing down into the elbows to keep the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath here. And then keeping the torso lifted, we're going to reach the hands back behind the torso and interlace the fingertips. So we'll keep the chest lifted a little bit. Now if this is really uncomfortable, this is not working for you today, that's fine. We'll stay in Sphinx pose. So listen to your body. If you feel any pinching there or any real discomfort, we're going to keep it here. And this time we're going to lift the leg a little bit higher. So we'll start with the right, pressing into the elbows if you're up on Sphinx pose, and lift the right leg and then lower. And this can still be a really small movement. We're just lifting it up to the knee. We're not trying to fly it out into space. And then the right leg and lower. And lift the left leg and lower. And we'll do one more round, one on each side. Right leg, lower, and left leg and lower. And if you've had your hands clasped behind your back this whole time, bravo. Bring them back around to the front. And we're going to take the hands out wide, left to right, and tent the palms. So we'll come up onto the fingertips. And then we're going to coordinate our movements here. We can let the head drop for a moment. Take a rest here, forehead down. Take a breath. We'll get ready for the next movement. we're going to, on an inhale, we're going to lift the head and bend one knee, and then lower. And now lift the head and bend the left knee, and then lower everything back down. And one more time, we'll lift up the right foot, bending at the right knee, lifting the head, and lower. And bend the left knee, lift up the head, and then come back down. And then we'll bring the hands back to the side and come back onto our elbows here, back to our Sphinx pose. And then we're going to try to lift both feet. Just hover just a few inches and lower. And then lift both feet from Sphinx pose, pressing down into the elbows, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, and lower. And then we'll come back down and bring the hands out wide one more time. And then inhale, lift through the chest, lift the head, and lift both feet. And then lower everything down. And we'll do one more just like that. Inhale, lift up, and exhale back down. And then we'll bring our hands back up under us and roll carefully onto one side. I'm going to roll onto my left side first. And get comfortable resting your head on your hand like a pillow. And we're going to start with our knees bent just a little bit here. And so I'm on my left side. I'm going to lift the right knee, keeping the feet together, and then lower. And then lift the right knee and lower. And we're going to do 3 more on this side. Lift the right knee, 2, and 1. And then we're going to bring that right knee out in front. And you may have to shift a little bit. I'm shifting backwards a little bit to get comfortable here. And bring your knee to a comfortable spot. Lift it up a little bit here, and then press the knee down into the mat. And you can rest your hand comfortably in front of you. We'll breathe into this here. Noticing as we feel the stretch through the inner thighs, the outer thighs, and through the hips. And we'll take 2 more breath cycles here. And 1 more. And then we're going to shift onto the other side. So I'm going to spin around here. And we'll go over onto the right side this time. Making a pillow with the right hand and just bringing the left hand out comfortably in front of you. And we'll start with both knees bent, laying together. And then we'll do our clamshell, lifting the left knee, the feet together, and lower. Lift just the knee. And we'll do 3 more just like that. 2, and 1. And then we'll take the right leg out long and bring the left knee up a little higher. And then press down into the mat with that left knee, activating these muscles along the inner thighs that help your hips move, helping getting that sciatic nerve untangled. And we'll take a few breaths here. I'm really taking this time to connect to your breath, connecting to your body, noticing any sensations that you feel, noticing which muscles are activated, and finding any places that you don't need to activate, that you can just relax. Finding that ease and strength and balance. All right, great. So for the last pose we're going to do, we're going to come all the way onto the back. So roll yourself onto your back. We'll keep the knees bent and hug the knees into the chest. And we'll do little circles. So we'll make circles with the knees, taking them clockwise first and keeping the hands on the knees, rotating the knees as we make little circles. And then one more time in this direction, and then we'll reverse the circle and go back the other way. Noticing the widening of the low back as your knees go out in front of you. We'll take the knees in this direction one more time around. And then we'll take the feet down and take the feet out left to right to the mat, and then drop the knees into the center. And reconnect here with your breath. Let the shoulder blades drop down and be heavy. Let your shoulders roll outward onto the mat. We'll take 2 more breath cycles here. And then walking the feet together. And if you have more time, you can take both feet out and just rest here for just a moment. But if you've got to go, we're going to go ahead and roll on over to your side and gently press yourself up to seated. And take a moment to notice how you feel. I hope this was helpful. You can come back to this one whenever you need a little yoga break for your back.